complying with the GPSR requires that your product is safe, and ensuring that your product is safe means that the product must comply with harmonized standards or other product standards. But the question is, how do you find product standards according to the definitions in the GPSR? Well, that's what I will show in this video. So we will start by creating a requirements list, and I will start over here. I already had one for this product. And the GPSR is, at least in theory, applicable to all consumer products, so I don't have to select any specific module. Instead, we can get straight to it. Let's say I'm selling this baby stroller. This means that I need to identify product standards that are relevant or specific to this baby stroller. There should be something out there, given the sensitivity of baby strollers. They need to function. They need to do their job, right? In the requirements list, under the entry for the GPSR, you will find a section titled Standards. And it explains the different types of standards that you can follow. And point A explains that ideally you conform with harmonized standards. Let's try to find the harmonized standards. I clicked on the link, so now I'm actually going to the European Commission website, where they have published a list of harmonized standards under the GPSR. And this is it. This is the list of harmonized standards under the GPSR. Also the GPSD, but it carries over. So, baby strollers, what can we find here? I think I need to zoom in a bit. Well, what you see here is the reference number, and then the title of the standard indicates the product scope, the type of product that it applies to. So we've got gymnastics equipment, stationary training equipment, and so on, furniture, children's furniture. Okay, now we got something here. So we got cribs, cradles, walking frames, soothers, carry cots and stands. Do we actually have anything for strollers? No, seems like we don't. But if you were selling, say, a soother, well, mission accomplished. You have it right here in front of you. Keep in mind it can be more than one that applies. As you can see here, we have 1400-1 and 1400-2 and 1400-3. They all cover soothers, but different aspects. First, we have general safety requirements. We have mechanical requirements that would, for example, demonstrate how you need to construct the shield and so on and so forth to make sure a baby cannot swallow and suffocate the nipple. Then we also have chemical requirements to make sure that, well, the nipple does not contain certain substances that could, of course, be very harmful to a young child. Okay. As you can see, it's quite comprehensive. I'm not sure how many we have here. I think it's about 120 standards or something. And it's not just children's products. That's just the example I was using here. Many of them are for children, though. Okay, let's see. But it doesn't go on forever. This is it. It ends here. What do you do in a situation where you simply cannot find a harmonized standard that applies to your product? Well, you have a number of different options under the GPSR, and I will explain the most common situation. And the most common situation is that if you cannot find your product on a list, on the list of harmonized standards, what you will most likely need to do is to look for other European standards that are not harmonized, and you can search these on the CENELEC website, which is exactly what I will do. Okay, it's loading. Right. Stroller. I'm not sure what I'm gonna find. Maybe they call stroller something else. Maybe they don't. Well, okay, maybe they actually call it push chair. Who knows? Let's actually go back here and see. Carrier. Yeah, no, I couldn't actually find it here. So it is possible that this is for some reason. For some reason, the standard for push chairs is not harmonized. Actually, I have to double check that. That just feels unbelievable. Well, anyway, I can't find it. It's can't find it here. Okay. Anyway, so this might actually be a good case study then. The fact that we don't have a harmonized standard for strollers or push chairs doesn't mean that we don't have to comply with safety requirements. It only means that we need to go elsewhere. And the first stop is usually to look at non-harmonized standards. What is the difference between a harmonized standard and a GPSR and a non-harmonized standard? Well, the former, the harmonized standards, have been published in the official journal. And they are listed here. It's basically for guidance. But the GPSR is very clear in that if you don't find a harmonized standard for your product, you go elsewhere. And in this case, it seems like elsewhere is CENELEC, because we could not find this one under the harmonized standards. So what I will need to do is to follow this one instead, most likely. And in a situation where I A, don't have harmonized standards, B, I have no non-harmonized standards, I may have to create my own risk assessment and define safety entirely on my own and make sure that the product is safely designed. It's not a good thing if you cannot find standards. Some importers and manufacturers, they think it's like that's a shortcut. That means they don't have to ensure the product is safe. But the GPSR is very clear in that regard, that all products must be safe no matter what. Okay, so I think I explained the principle. You can go to the European Commission website to look for harmonized standards, but then you have European standards and a whole range of other options to look at. And if you're really unlucky, you may have to create your own technical guidelines, technical requirements that define and ensure product safety.